Have to work. And we've heard the story over and over again. I hear the story 20 times a week about how the people bought these bikes and it's not working properly, not shifting properly, not riding properly. Guys, let's do something about internet-based bikes and try to educate the community, educate the consumer, or maybe just stop working on them altogether, and then people will stop buying them. We want people to buy good bikes and enjoy the ride and not get frustrated. That's how we're gonna keep our industry alive. All right, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. It's Sunday and I have personal things to do, but I wanted to share this story so people that might be looking at an internet-based bike day will think twice about it and go support your local bike shop. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out. Hey, this is Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I'm doing a series on consumer direct bikes, and a lot of it is consumer direct e-bikes. I mean, what's the world gonna do? I own a brick and mortar shop called Biloxi Bicycle Works, and we work on bicycles. It's a Sunday morning. I just finished a bicycle ride myself, and I get home, and this is at my personal house, a consumer direct e-bike from a friend of mine. Obviously he knows where I live because he's done some electrician work for me, and it has this. There's a little note that was attached to it. Bart, please fix my bike. It should be easy. Power stops. So that's all I've got. And you know, the guy must be frustrated with his consumer direct bike to actually drop it off at my house on a Sunday. So I'm gonna have a talk with him and be kind with him, because he must be, and that's the problem. There's a lot of people just frustrated. Everybody bought these things cheap. I think he bought this, and I'm not blaming this brand. I actually did a YouTube review on this brand, but when I did the YouTube review, I did tell everybody, look, I don't sell this brand. I don't have a dog in the hunt. The bike had worked good for me for about a month. Did everything it was supposed to do, and I did say some good points about the bike, and I also said some points that might be a concern in the future, but I said don't drop them off at my bike. Don't buy this bike on my accord, because I don't want my bike shop full of these bikes, and at the moment, this is springtime. I should be doing tune-ups on bikes like this, stuff that's easy to handle, stuff that my mechanics are used to working on, stuff that if I have a problem, I could go to the Specialized website, get the specs. I understand Shimano Ultegra, you know, name brands, Trek, Giant, Cannondale. That's the kind of stuff I want to work on in peak season, because we can get it in and out and fix it right, and my mechanics are happy. It pays the bills and gives them a living wage. This stuff has a huge question mark when we try to repair these type of bikes. So let me go back to the beginning of this story. Literally, this is a Sunday. I spent 70 plus hours in the bike shop. There's a big party Saturday night in Biloxi, and I missed it because I was at the bike shop working on bikes till midnight. And I'm not complaining. I'm super happy to have the repair work. We had a really lean winter, and right now we're trying to make up for that by working on bikes. So I appreciate the business, guys. But it is just a lot of hours. So this morning, to clear my head, I actually came home. I'm at my personal house right now. This is the first time I've come home in several days. I sleep on a cot in the back of the bike shop right now, and I don't mind doing it. Sometimes it's kind of fun, but it's just a lot of hours, away from my personal house and family and stuff like that. But being in the bicycle industry, that's the way it is sometimes. So I'm not complaining about that, but I am saying that, today, rather than doing the group ride with a lot of my friends and customers, I have to, spend some time at my house to get things done around here, because I've got to go back to work on Monday. So I did a couple hours on my bike, and then when I come home, I find this in my backyard. This is the kind of stuff I really would rather deal with in the bike shop, so I can manage the customer's expectations and also get a little bit more information than this. Now, this guy's an electrician. I hired him for a job about a year ago, and I remember I wanted the outlet moved about 6 inches from to about the middle of the wall, because that was a piece of furniture going in. And I said, man, this must be a kind of an easy job for you. You just got to move the outlet. And he looked at me and said, man, don't tell me my job's easy. So this might be a joke, since You know, I told him his job was easy once, but I learned that lesson. Like, don't tell someone their job's easy. You don't know what's involved with it. So when people buy their bikes by the bike shop all the time and tell me, I took this hub apart to replace the bearings and now I can't put it together. It'll probably take you 5 minutes, Bart. Tell me my job's easy. And once someone's monkeyed with something, it makes it so much harder. I don't know if they've lost parts or over torqued something or stripped out a thread. So gosh, if you do have a problem with something that you're not sure about, just bring it by us in the first place. I'd rather be the guy that takes it apart and puts it back together than, you know, you can't take your engine in your car halfway apart and then bring it to a mechanic shop and ask them to put it together, or do it at a bargain, you know. So just remember, the bicycles have gotten a lot more complicated, but this kind of stuff is much more used to what we're used to be working on for years. This kind of stuff, it's unbranded. A lot of it is unbranded, and I'm not cutting down this brand of bike right here. I'm just using it as an example because it's in my backyard on a Sunday, and I worked all week, and I really have some other things to do today. And I wanted to just bust out the GoPro and make a little video, because this is what you know, bike shops, brick and mortar shops are having to deal with. Guys, people buy off the internet, and we don't make any money off of that. Everybody's got to make a little bit of money to keep their industry alive, and I really want to keep the bike shop industry alive. I don't want this to be a dying breed like the TV repairman. You know, you buy a new TV now, if you don't have the extended warranty, you pretty much throw it away. There's no one to fix that. And I don't want a lot of this stuff to end up in the landfill. You know, there's a lot of aluminum, rubber, machining, you know, parts and labor and transportation. There's a lot goes into making a bike, and they just end up in a landfill. This one's $1,000 bike. Now, I did spend several hours when this customer wanted to get educated on e-bikes in my shop, and he wanted a folding e-bike, something with a throttle, and I recommended the Aventon Cinch to him. I am an Aventon dealer, but I am an Aventon dealer because Aventon supports bike shops. One of the only hub drive throttle-based bikes that actually will give a bike shop some support. Now, that support to me is not as good as it was, you know, a year or two ago, but that company's, you know, growing. I'm still an Aventon dealer, so I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but you know, sometimes the support I get is not quite as quick as it used to be, but they still give support. So after recommending an Aventon, he found this for $1,000, and some of it was because of my YouTube review. And like I said in my YouTube review, I don't do a lot of consumer direct bikes, so please, if you have a consumer direct e-bike, don't hit me up or send me something. I don't want my shed full of these things, and that's where mine is. Mine, actually, it's the same color, same model, and my customer came in and stole my bag because he was going somewhere for the weekend. So this is actually my bag on this customer's bike. I need my bike back, man. So I'm gonna take it now that it's at my house. You're gonna have to buy your own bag. But it was you know, he's going on vacation for the weekend. He needed a bag, and I didn't have one in my shop to sell him, and I guess Amazon wasn't as quick as he needed. So anyway, I need my bag back. I'm taking it. But you know, big story is, I did say, look, like the bike that I had worked for, you know, I've been riding it for about a month, and it works good for what it is. It's not a performance bike. People buy these and they think they're gonna change their ways and habits with it. This is a great commuter bike, something to get around town, zip around, do errands. It's actually a cool little bike, and it's smaller than the Aventon, so maybe what's got him. But I think it was $1,000 price tag. But now, because of that $1,000 price tag, he's got a bike that doesn't work. Mine that I was riding stopped working as well. I haven't had time to trace it out and see what the problem was. But you know, I'd be riding it, and it would just, the power, the watts would go to 0. I would power it off, power it back on, and it'd work for a little bit, and I stopped riding it because it was giving me problems. And apparently that's maybe what's going on here, because it just says power stops. Most of this stuff's plug and play, but I don't even have time to do it. When I'm looking down at this motor, it's got a little barcode on it. I scanned the barcode, and it took me to like a vacation spot in Japan. So maybe I did something wrong there, but I just don't have time to mess with this stuff. It's unbranded. Like these brakes right here, I mean, I don't know, it's probably a Tektro brake bleed kit, but they're very unique. You know, if you don't have the right threads to the right brake kit to thread into it, you could strip something out. I don't want to strip something out because I can't get a lot of replacement. These aren't just regular brakes, they have a motor cutoff switch. And try to go buy some of that stuff. Maybe you can get it on Amazon or something. I don't buy my bike parts off as Amazon because I'm scared of counterfeits. This one at least says mineral oil on it. So you usually have mineral or DOT fluid. Sometimes on a lot of these bikes, it doesn't tell you what it is. I don't want to be the guy that puts the wrong fluid in your brakes. I don't know what's going to happen with internet-based bikes, consumer direct bikes, and brick and mortars. There might be a time when we just all band together and stop working on this stuff. It's really a losing proposition for us. People don't want to pay the labor to get them fixed, and bike shops, we're not making much money. But we have to make a living wage. My mechanics need to make a living wage. And bike mechanics aren't making as much as a lot of white collar jobs or construction jobs. I mean, I know some waiters that are making a lot more than the bike shop mechanic. But you know, working in a bike shop is supposed to be a cool job, so generally we're dealing with awesome people. And most of the people that ride bikes are awesome, fun people to deal with. The people that buy internet-based bikes and can't get any support from their internet-based companies come into my shop grumpy. Those are the grumpy customers. And I think it's because they're frustrated. As someone who loves the bicycle industry and loves people on bikes, I try to be as kind as possible. But it's taking up a lot of my time during the day. And I don't have much time. I don't have time with my family. I definitely don't have time to explain the same story over and over and over again about you bought this from a company on the internet. You need to get support from them, not me. I'm paying my guys by the hour. I mean, I try to protect my bike mechanics, and we have people constantly walking in with internet-based bike asking all kinds of questions. Those questions cost me money as a shop owner, and they're not getting their work done, so they're not pleasing me, and they're worried. So guys, if you buy off the internet, just reach out to your internet company. If you can't get a hold of them, learn a lesson. Buy from a bike shop. It might cost you a little bit more, but not that much more for the support you get. So either pay now or pay later. And this kind of stuff, it's not that we want to be jerks and not fix it, but it takes time. A lot of times we don't know what we're working on. So there's that big, like I said, the big question mark. Question marks turn into dollar signs real quick when the hourly wage is ticking. And as a guy that's got to sign the paychecks, I got to make sure that those guys are pumping up enough work to not only break even, but so I get a paycheck at the end of the day. I mean, literally this week I didn't get a paycheck, and I worked 70 plus hours. So we get bugged a lot by people that are buying these things off the internet. They do all their hours and hours of research, and then they come to the bike shop because they don't know how to use it. Like, don't buy it off the internet and then come by the bike shop and ask us how to turn it on and turn it off and charge it. That's where our value comes in. That's why you come buy it from a bike shop, and then we go through all of that with you. Plus, I'm not going to sell junk out of my bike shop, because if I sell junk, my bike shop's not going to survive. And I've got to say, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I won't sell, because I don't want people coming back up onto my porch needing them fixed. If you come back onto my porch 2 or 3 times and need it fixed, I've lost all my margin on it. I'm trying to sell stuff that stays out there, stays working, keeps people happy. So that's why I'm very, very careful about what I sell. I don't know what brick and mortar is going to do in the end with this stuff. This stuff is causing us a problem. I don't want to exclude anybody, but I'm almost thinking we need to band together, stop working on anything internet based, or charge a lot more, because these things really aren't making us any. By the time we get done with a labor charge trying to diagnose stuff, they're mad at me, and I don't want people mad at me or my bike shop or giving us a negative review because they bought a $1,000 bike and they've got a $500 repair. I can't help it if it took us 4 or 5 hours to try to plug and play stuff. We don't have a module. We don't have anything to tell us what's wrong with it. And a lot of the parts are unbranded. So if I try to bleed this brake and it's not a Tektro brake kit, or I put the wrong fluid in it, I've got problems that cost hours to fix. So just be careful when you're buying. Let this be a lesson. If you're gonna buy an internet-based bike and you're not a bike mechanic, be ready to throw that thing away when you start having problems, or be kind to your bike shop and be ready to pay. Bike shops aren't trying to make a lot of money. We're just trying to survive right now, but even trying to survive in today's market costs money. My shop at $75 an hour is barely making it at $75 an hour, because believe me, as an owner, I'm not taking $75 and putting it in my pocket. That the overhead eats a lot of that up. So if you want bike shops in your neighborhood, if you want bike shops in your town, someplace to bring these to, be kind to your bike shop, and don't be scared to pay them a little bit. You save some money in the beginning, you're gonna have to pay at the end. If you buy a name brand bike like a Trek, I sell Trek, I know they're good. The Electra, oh God, Electra is really good. And if you want a throttle, big hub motor, throttle based bike, and you want it under $2,000, there's really only 2 brands I know about Amiya and Aventon that support bike shops like in a big way. Not a little company with a little bit of support, but I'm talking about Bafang stuff that's supported by Bafang. I don't know, and there's probably some more out there, but I'm busy fixing bikes and selling bikes. I don't have time to read every single email from these companies that send me emails and tell me how good their companies are. I just know what I fix as an e-bike repairman, what I see come through the bench. And I tell you, I see a lot of junk, and I see a lot of junk at prices that should tell you they're junk. If you're buying a whole e-bike for $1,000, and I don't want to say this thing's junk, but for an e-bike mechanic, like as a person who's compassionate and wants to see people on bikes, you know, $1,000 is a lot of money. I don't have $1,000 in my pocket this weekend. Be careful what you buy, and then take care of it. Like most people I see do no maintenance at all to their e-bikes, and then by the time they drop them off at us, the you know, the square tapered bottom bracket has been loose for several hundred miles, or they don't switch gears and put way too much pressure and stretch out their chain. There's so much with these bikes that you really need a bike shop mechanic to at least sell you these bikes and go through, tell you how to take them, you know, use the throttle, how to get up to speed without putting a lot of wear in your drivetrains. Hey, it goes on and on. Just a real life story from Bart, the bicycle rider, aka the bicycle rider, Bart Luther, Biloxi Bicycle Works shop owner. And on a Sunday, I get this thing dropped off in my backyard. Don't do that to your bicycle mechanic. And this guy is a friend of mine, and he's probably just desperate, so I'm going to try to help him out. But just realize when you buy an internet-based bike, you're dealing with an internet-based bike company. Go to a bike shop if you want an e-bike, and go to a bike shop that's planning on being around for a while. At Biloxi Bicycle Works, I bought my bicycle shop. I own the building. I plan on I have to be there for a long time to make up. So go to a real brick and mortar, people who ride these bikes, people who ride with their community. Look at our Facebook page. I rode with 150 members of our community Friday night. So, and a lot of them were on e-bikes, and a lot of them were on consumer direct e-bikes that were having problems. I'm not gonna fix them during the ride for you. So anyway, be kind to your bike shop. If you buy one of these things, support your local bike shop, and really just think about making your purchase from a bike shop. And bike shops, maybe we all need to band together and just stop working on these so people stop buying them and come back to the bike shop and buy. That might be the only way we survive in the long run, or keep our sanity. I talk about giving my mechanics a living wage. I also don't want them to walk out with headaches every day because they bought stuff off the internet that they don't know how to fix, because there's no resources to do it. I don't want them to feel bad about their job at the end of the day. And these are the kind of people that complain, not these kind of people. It's these kind of people, because they get so frustrated with customer support that they can't get, that they have to vent to someone. If you come in, don't come in with a half an hour long story how your bike's not working, because we have to work. And we've heard the story over and over again. I hear the story 20 times a week about how the people bought these bikes and it's not working properly, not shifting properly, not riding properly. Guys, let's do something about internet-based bikes and try to educate the community, educate the consumer, or maybe just stop working on them altogether, and then people will stop buying them. We want people to buy good bikes and enjoy the ride, not get frustrated. That's how we're going to keep our industry alive. All right, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. It's Sunday, and I have personal things to do, but I wanted to share this story so people that might be looking at an internet-based bike day will think twice about it and go support your local bike shop. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out.